we hear? You heard my call. You're imbalanced, Swampy.
Huh? What is Swampy looking for stuff? It calls to you.
Hello, explorers, and welcome to episode 17. And what a week it has been! Ahsoka has finally dropped, the internet has exploded, people lost their minds, and I finally got some sleep. Joining me this week is a lady more fierce than Shin Hati with a saber. It's Taylor.
Hello there.
And as always, the great wise one himself, a man who say some may be related also to the great Balon. It's old guy Jedi himself, Jimmy.
Balin's a handsome man. I'm just going to say, Balin's a handsome man.
Yeah.
So let's start with you, Jimmy. How's your week been and what you've been up to?
Oh, it's been awesome. I know people who have been listening know that we have Abigail here. They may not know that Vanessa came Wednesday night. So we now have 2 exchange students and living in our house, and it's been awesome. Awesome experience so far. So we've been doing that, cross country and school full tilt. It cooled off a little bit this weekend, so that was nice. Didn't hit triple digits. So, yeah, been a great week. I'm looking forward. You know, it's crazy when you want the weekend to end so you can get to something, and that being Ahsoka on Tuesdays. So, yeah, been a great week, and I'm really excited for next week. So, Taylor, how about you? What were you up to?
Well, this whole week I've been sick, which is wonderful because there's nothing like getting sick right before you've been waiting to record something for months. So yeah, sorry about that one, guys. But yeah, I've had a fever for like 4 days, so I'm starting to feel better now. Yeah, happy to be moving on, and I'm happy to be talking to you guys because I have been waiting for this chat.
Jack, it looks like you're back at base.
Yeah, that's my leave. Summer leave's now ended, mate. So back at base, back to work. Got about 10 days to push, and I should be going to the Grand Canyon, hopefully.
Very cool.
Oh, awesome.
Do you guys have any Force encounters this week?
No, nothing really from myself. I have to be on the wind down, like I say. What about you, Taylor?
My Force encounter has just been seeing Ahsoka everywhere. I'm seeing people wearing Ahsoka shirts, walking around. I mean, the little time that I have actually been outside. But every single time I open my phone, there's just something else. It's like an Ahsoka email, or Facebook, or Instagram, or TikTok, anything. Ahsoka everywhere. And I think that's why we're having our main topic later on Ahsoka. But what about you, Jimmy? Have you had any Force encounters this week?
Yeah. So I remember talking last week about one of my coworkers who just joined the Explorers Facebook group and all that stuff, and he came over to my place, and I gave him all my High Republic comics to get him started, so he could jump into that world. I'm curious to see on Monday how far he's gotten. He was very excited, and then I'm working on another build video for this thing. It's making me quite angry. I may turn to the dark side by the time I finish building it. So, but yeah, so pretty fun. And I have to report that neither exchange student is a fan of Star Wars, so I've got some work to do. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Some serious work to do there, mate.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's head over to hear the latest then from Batu. Okay, Night Dive Studios have announced a remaster of Star Wars Dark Forces. This is going to support up to 4K, advanced 3D rendering and modern gamepad support. What's that all mean for us? We can play it on our fancy TVs. It's also coming soon to PS4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Nintendo Switch and PC. So it's an old school game, hopefully getting updated with the graphics and that. I'm going to be super excited for that. Can't wait for that. What about you, Jimmy? I know you're into your games.
Yeah, see, a lot of these games that came out for like the Sega and all that stuff and the 64, I was in the military at the time. I didn't really play a ton of them. I know my siblings played the heck out of those games. So honestly, I hadn't heard this one before. I think the only one I ever played was like the Rogue Squadron stuff and X-Wing.
Yeah.
So I will, if it comes out for PS5, I'll pick it up for sure. It'd be fun to play these old games and see what they look like, you know, with new renderings.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that.
That'll be good.
The writer's strike is still going on at over 100 days, and it shows little sign of coming to an end. And showing his solidarity for the cause, Tony Gilroy addressed the fellow writers on New York picket lines earlier this week. Let's not forget that without these writers and these actors, we wouldn't be living in an Ahsoka world right now, okay? And I hope everyone gets what they want, what they deserve. But I hope they ended soon, because after Ahsoka, we've got nothing coming down the streamline, and that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's starting to get real. They've pushed Dune 2 back now, even though it's all finished.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of that has to do with the lead up to it, all the campaigning and stuff they want to do for it. So, you know, we talked about Skeleton Crew. I do think this is, you know, I'm not a business expert, but having listened to a lot of podcasts and a lot of the writers, I do think this is when the business side of things are going to get affected, and that we might get some, hopefully get some done, because now people are going to start losing money, and that's when things get serious. So hopefully, you know, these writers, they've held out, and then we'll get that done, and we can get back on track in January.
Yeah, we've got D23 coming up soon as well.
Yeah.
So we might hear a little bit more coming out of that. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm wondering if we'll get much, you know. But yeah, hopefully. We'll see. Also, massive rumor coming out. We have found some information courtesy of Bespin Bulletin. Anakin Skywalker is set to appear in the 5th episode of Ahsoka. This is the episode.
Like appear,
this is the next
not just his voice.
Not just his voice. This is Dave Filoni's 2nd episode that he has directed. It's reportedly 49 minutes runtime. There's also, and I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something coming out called Master and Apprentice. It's going to be like the Disney Gallery, which is something they usually drop at the end of the series. But there's a special coming out, and I don't know if it's like the Sunday before or when it's coming out. We'll try to find out and update you guys, but we'll put it in our socials. But I think this is going to be a big episode. I think you're going to see that. Did you guys remember that trailer that was just Anakin talking to Snips? I think that we're going to see the live action version of that. Like, I think that's going to be getting played out for us. So I hope.
Yeah.
Would you guys rather see a flashback, or would you like to see him as a Force ghost?
Flashback, live action.
Flashback, yeah.
And then live action Rex as well on top of it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sweet.
100%. 100%. And that pretty much wraps up this week's news.
For this week's main show, we decided to have a little bit of fun, and we were going to look into how the world reacts to Ahsoka live-action Disney Plus series. We are living in an Ahsoka world right now, guys. How great is this? We have been waiting since Celebration, and probably longer, for this. How are you guys liking it? You're still liking it? Yeah?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, most people are positive, so I've been pretty positive about it. I rewatched it this weekend, so I loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
No change for me. I've watched it 3 times now, both episodes. Yeah. Awesome. Love it.
Awesome. I've watched it twice as well, and I just you see more things in the background the more time you watch it. But both episodes 1 and 2. I keep acting like it's just one whole episode, even though it's 2 different directors who did these 2 episodes, and they do feel different, but it's just so good. So good. Well, let's see how the world liked it. We have episode 1, which was Master and Apprentice. which was written and directed by Dave Filoni. I feel like when we saw the trailers, it was like written by Dave Filoni, produced by Dave Filoni, directed by Dave Filoni. But it's true. This is his baby, right?
Oh, absolutely. So that one and episode 2, Toil and Trouble by Steph Green. So we got the tomato, Rotten Tomato report. So part 1 has a 4% approval rating, and then part 2 hit 100%. A lot of people, I know, like Jack and I think we gave it 9 for episode 1, and then 8.5.
Yeah, non love cats.
But out of 9.5. That poor Loth cat we chopped in half. But yeah, so the world seems to really be enjoying Ahsoka so far. I mean, there has been some negative stuff, which we'll talk about later, but it's pretty high ratings. Oh, yeah. I think we have the IMDb stuff too.
Yes, over at IMDb, they've got 8.3 out of 10. Google, they came out and they've got 73% that liked this TV show. So again, quite positive, to be fair.
Yeah, really positive.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, like we said, episode 1 was directed by Dave Filoni. Episode 2 is directed by Steph Green, who also directed Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2, The Tribes of Tatooine, which was more of like a story catching up episode, which I think was perfect for her to write this one as well. And we're going to be getting her chapter or part 3. Are we going with, is it parts? I feel like all of the live actions are like chapters or, so she's going to be doing next week's as well. Or I guess it's only going to be, for people listening, it's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and Ahsoka Tano made her debut in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Park on the Wednesday, August 23rd as well.
Yeah,
how awesome is that?
They had a lady when we were in Anaheim. They had when they had Star Wars night at Disney. You know, they kick everybody out and they only have so many people in there. They had a lot of the characters, and the girl they had playing, it looked like a young Snips, like a younger version of Ahsoka. She looked, I mean, it was amazing, like how much she looked like the character. So I'm excited to see some photos of this character. I'm sure we'll start seeing it. You know, those people who go to Galaxy's Edge every day that live down there. But
I've seen a few already. She's looking pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, she looks good.
She does.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as our socials go, been blowing up with Ahsoka. So,
yeah, same. Like I know our like news feeds and our socials are all picking up on stuff that we say from our phones, you know, the rumor, whatever, and like stuff we're searching and like our Facebook groups. But I mean, even those people on all the different Facebook groups are just all talking about their reactions to Ahsoka. I've seen a lot of positive stuff. Yeah, we've got some negative stuff, but if we didn't, then there'd be something wrong. So gotta have some negativity, right? It's Star Wars fandom. So last week reviews, you for your guys' review show that I was not a part of because I was choking on my swollen throat. Sorry about that. You guys were super pumped about those episodes, and you're still thinking the same? Like your opinions of it haven't changed? You still stick to your scores now that you've watched it a few more times and let it sink in?
My score doesn't change. Doesn't change at all. Still
awesome. That's impressive for Jack, considering he was up at 2 a.m. to watch them, and we didn't record till almost 4 a.m. So I thought maybe there's a little more clarity when you had got some sleep and watched them. But that's good to see. Like, I know some people over there are laughing at people who get up at 2 a.m., but that's Jack's dedication to this podcast and to Star Wars, and we appreciate him. So, Jack, I'm sorry you're not going to get any sleep Tuesday night either.
I know, same again this week.
Well, maybe we can try to change it up. I don't know. I liked listening to your guys' review show. Like, I can literally like hear your guys' smiles and excitement through the episode. So if any of our listeners hasn't listened to that, the Ahsoka episode 1 and 2 review recap, go listen to it. As long as you've watched the Ahsoka episodes, of course.
Yeah, they're full spoilers, so.
Full spoilers. Oh, and maybe we'll give a spoiler warning now, just in case.
Probably a good idea.
I mean, it's been out for a week now. So sorry if we spoil anything for you. We'll try not to.
Yeah, so this week, as you know, Ahsoka dropped and we watched and got involved as the Explorers literally went wild. We got some awesome comments from the Explorers. So first up then, again, apologies if I butcher anyone's name, but here we go. So Joaquin Zapata, they said
Joaquin
that they loved...
Zapata.
There we go, thank you, Jimmy. He loved the 2 episodes. Our boy Jake Crafton said he was holding back some tears of joy and finally getting the next part of this story. He also pointed out that the star maps are part of Star Wars Extended Universe and are not canon until now.
Yeah, good spot, Jake. I saw that on our chat group, which you guys can join if you want to chat some Ahsoka or just some Star Wars. But good shout, Jake.
Yeah, I know where Jake, I know I talked about getting a little bit of emotional. I don't know why. I'm not like I like things, but I never get like, I mean, I know it's fake. You know, I know it's not real, but man, I got the warm and fuzzies, and I thought myself getting a little like, I mean, I guess it was worse when I saw what happened to Tech or whatever, but we won't get into that because I might get emotional. But I got one, Ryan Payne. He says, I rewatched the final episodes of Rebels to refresh my memory of what happened to Thrawn and Ezra. I love all the details from the Rebels that are in Ahsoka. In the final episode of Rebels, Sabine goes off with Ahsoka. I think that's when she starts to train her. Ezra kept telling Sabine, I'm counting on you, maybe for her to complete her training or to find him. So yeah, I think that's kind of the idea behind that hologram that we keep seeing. Yeah. So, yeah.
On Instagram, we've got a few comments as well. We have Chief Gremlin. He said, loved it. Yep, that's all we need to hear. Loving it. And we have another one from Old Man Rex, who said, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell ending of Rebels was. How does this relate to the new show? And when does Ahsoka get her white robe, her staff, and the Morai? He also said Dawson is still not a good actor. One tone all the way through, certainly not Snips. Okay, so negative comment. There we go. We're allowed to have negative comments. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinions. Like I said, if there wasn't any negativity, there'd be something wrong with this. And I think as long as you have a good reason for not liking it or for having the negative review, then go for it. Like if you've got a good reason, and I think Old Man Rex here, he does. He's confused by the timeline, which I'm sure a lot of people are, right? Like we have a lot of casual Star Wars fans that are coming into seeing this new Star Wars live action. Oh, okay, cool. Click. But they haven't watched any of the animation. So they're, that meme of Ant-Man coming back after Infinity War. Like, what the heck happened here?
Yeah, I think his complaints are valid. I do think that you got to be careful with, because Dave Filoni is a master. He's gotten better at better storytelling, and I think that people should hold off hating the show or disliking the show until it's all finished. You may not like where it's at right now, but I mean, give it its 8 episodes. Even my nephew, which we'll hear from later on, he says, well, I don't know if it's my favorite show. I'm going to wait till all 8 episodes are out. I'm like, you got the wisdom from an 8 or 10-year-old. So, but yeah, I know. So, but yeah, absolutely. If you got negative comments, don't be afraid to share them with us. We want to hear everyone's opinions. So, and maybe we can help talk you through it or whatever. So
exactly. We're not going to just snuff out an opinion that isn't the same as ours. We like to talk all Star Wars, right? We just happen to be going through this crazy Ahsoka series right now. But just kind of to point out, like he says, like Rosario Dawson's acting is just so one tone the whole way. And I get it. I completely understand what he's talking about, because Rosario is very reserved in this Ahsoka series. She doesn't say a whole lot. She takes her time to stop and look around at the situation. She's not jumping all over the place like animation. Oh, why isn't she flipping and animation, right? But look at how long it's been since Ahsoka has been Snips. She's not Snips anymore. That's the thing. She's got a lot more wisdom under her belt. She's got a lot of tragic stories that have happened to her, bad experiences. Like, she's lost a lot of people. She's seen a lot of terrible things happening. And I think her, I guess this like bridled opinion of her, like this new appearance of her is just showing her wisdom, her growth over the years. She's not just going to jump into something like she used to before. So I like how Rosario's portraying her right now. We might get a more crazy Ahsoka later. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
good
think we're
comment.
going to get
Rex.
a Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get a grey Jedi that embraces the dark and the light, and that's why she's coming across so reserved and relaxed, because she can't let the dark take over her. Otherwise, she'll
Yeah.
become
But she's,
fully on the
you know,
dark
she
side.
said in the thing is she said it right to Huang, you know, I didn't follow Jedi protocol to get the information I needed. So, I mean, you know that she took it from her brain, you know, whatever that Kylo Ren tried to do to
Ooh.
Rey. So,
Yeah.
Tortured her.
I mean, I'm assuming.
It's the first.
Yeah,
This will be
maybe.
the first time that we see someone, Star Wars character, embracing the light and the dark.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
We got gray Jedi vibes going on here. Oh.
Yeah.
Actually,
Next.
you know what? We've got another comment from Matilda Backlund, the Swedish Jedi on Instagram, and she has a completely different comment here than our last comment, and she says, "Alrighty, I'm loving it. Gosh, I understand the portrayal of Ahsoka 100%. Ahsoka is dealing with a lot of trauma, which makes her a bit stern with Sabine. I believe the fact that she's so tough on Sabine is a reflection of her own insecurities." Ooh, I like that. Though she's come so far, Ahsoka doesn't have a clear belonging like the Rebels gang does or did. A vagabond trying to escape the past. She isn't just serving everywhere she's needed for the good of the galaxy. She's doing it for self-serving reasons too, running away from her past. Yes, actually, I totally agree with that. Sabine is also carrying sorrow and regret. I feel those two will grow alongside each other in this story and hopefully find their place and true belonging in the galaxy. Ah, Matilda, so heartwarming. And she digs right into it, hey? I love that. I totally agree with
You think
Matilda
about
there.
ever since Ahsoka walks away from that, you know, episode, I wish I knew the date of that episode where she walks away. She's been on her own. I mean, she has, you know, the book and things like that. She's had groups of people, but she's never had like a family again.
No.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, that time, you know, it makes you bitter and angry. And I know people are having a hard time separating Snips from Ahsoka, and I just kind of look at it because I had this talk with a coworker this week. It's like you had to put like Ashley Eckstein, that's young Ahsoka, and then this is like older. You know, it's been what, 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
maybe
Probably
more.
more.
This is a different
like
Ahsoka.
30.
I mean, people change. I'm not
I think
the
it's
same person.
perfect casting. I do personally.
Yeah, we'll get into it when we talk about some stuff with the Mando. I'll share my thoughts on that, but I'll keep it for then. But so yeah, we got some stuff from Facebook too, right, Jack?
Yeah.
We got
So
lots
Paul
this
Moore.
week.
So Paul Moore, he said it's cheesy like Rebels, but if you watch Rebels, you should be happy as a loft cat getting a belly rub. Did like the three droids. Good old Paul.
Oh yeah.
Jacob Lusk just finished the second episode. Really enjoyed it. Loved Chopper flexing his arms in it.
That was
got a
awesome.
chuckle out of me. We've got two more on Facebook as well, I think. We've got Jason Crippen. He said, Hera takes a little getting used to. Again, I probably agree with that. But it's nice to see her live action. He also said that the end credit music was amazing, that he loved it. Again, just echoing our thoughts, I think, Jimmy. Last one I'll go through is Lee Drain. He said, absolutely loving it. It could be my new favourite series. Don't get me wrong, I loved Andor, but this is pure Star Wars. And again, I would agree with that, but for it to be Andor, it's got to be something really special. in
Yeah,
my opinion.
I think Jack, you and I talked about that. I feel like it's all Star Wars, but like Andor is
Yeah.
its own category of like real serious drama.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And this I put in the same category as Boba Fett, Mando, and Kenobi.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's how I kind of see it. So
I think they all appeal to different age groups
yeah,
as well.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially Andor. What else have we got, Taylor?
Yeah. Actually, we have one more comment from Jamie Richards, and he said, exquisite.
Awesome little comment there from Jamie Richards. As always, keep the comments, keep the emails, voice notes, all that coming into us, guys, at Explore the Force on any of the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and also email them in at exploretheforce@gmail.com, and we will endeavour to read them out on the show.
Yeah, we want to chat with you guys.
All right, and we've got one more person to hear from. It's kind of special to me. He's my little Padawan. We're going to hear from the one and only Hank the Tank. I got to, this afternoon, we got to interview him, and you're going to hear, he's quite the character. And I'm just going to play this for everybody. Jack and Taylor haven't heard this yet, so they're probably, get a kick out of this as well. So here we go. Hank the Tank on Ahsoka and some other stuff that we talked about too, if you want.
Okay.
All right, so I'm introducing Hank the Tank. Hank, tell everybody how old you are.
I'm 76.
You're 76. You look great for 76, man. How old are you really, though?
I'm 10.
You're 10, and that makes you in 5th grade. You're basically an old man now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how long have you been watching Star Wars?
Like a year and a half now, probably.
A year and a half now? What would you say your favorite Star Wars show is?
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian? All right. So you and I have had lots of talks about Star Wars, haven't we?
Yeah.
We always got lots of good questions. We're going to talk a little bit about the Ahsoka show. Do you want to do that with me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you've watched it, right? And you said you rewatched it again today. Did you rewatch it today as well?
Yeah. I rewatched episode 1 last night. I rewatched the second episode this morning.
All right. What did you think? Did you love it? Hate it? It was okay.
I really liked the second episode. The first one was okay.
What did you like about the second episode?
I liked the Inquisitor.
You like the Inquisitor?
Mhm.
So there's a big rumor going on right now that you know who Starkiller is?
Yeah.
Okay, do you think that that's Starkiller?
No.
Why not?
He's too weak.
He's too weak?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean, because Starkiller is pretty powerful, huh?
It's true.
Mhm.
It's true.
Okay. So who do you think's in that? Who do you think do you think they're going to take that helmet off anytime soon? And do you think you know who it is?
I think it's either Barriss Offee, but I don't really I think it might be a brainwashed Ezra.
A brainwashed Ezra?
Mhm.
Ooh, that's a good one. What makes you think it might be a brainwashed Ezra?
Well, I don't really know who else it could be because it seemed like it was a boy, so
Yeah.
I don't really think it's Barriss. I don't think it's Starkiller either.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Who is your favorite character in the show so far?
Ezra.
You like Ezra?
He
Wait, what?
he was in it.
He was in it for a minute. Who was your favorite character that was in the show for more than 5 seconds?
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. Very cool. All right, what do you like about Ahsoka?
Well, I really like the Clone Wars and Rebels. So,
So you like seeing all those characters come to life then?
yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. So I know you were excited for Chopper. What did you think of Chopper's introduction?
I think he's the most powerful Sith.
Chopper's the most powerful Sith?
Yeah.
All right, that would be an interesting twist of fate.
Robot twist.
What do you think is going to happen on Tuesday's episode?
I think in the trailer when it shows Ahsoka fighting Balin Skull.
Yeah.
I think that might happen like late in the next episode.
Okay. Who do you think's gonna die, Balin or Ahsoka?
I'm pretty sure Balin's gonna die because the actor died.
The actor did die. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of a bummer though.
This-
He's pretty cool, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's real calm, cool, and collected. So that's pretty awesome. What do you think? What's going to happen to Shin then if Balin's killed? Is she going to go crazy?
Yeah.
All right. Do you think?
I think.
Oh, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I think she's gonna. Well, I think in the Mandalorian movie,
Mm-hmm.
the movie that Dave Filoni's making,
Yeah.
I think she might be in it, and she might be hunting Ahsoka
Ooh.
because she might have killed Balin.
Okay. All right. That's probably a good idea. That might happen. Actually, I can see that. What do you think of Shin's character so far?
I liked her.
Yeah. She's pretty tough, isn't she?
Mhm.
Kind of scary looking. Do you think she's scary looking? Like really intense?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
She is. She's freaky looking.
Do you have any questions?
I like seeing Governor.
Governor Azadi?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Do you know that was the voice actor? The voice the
Yeah.
cartoon character? Of course you knew that. I don't know why I bothered asking that question. So is this your new favorite
nuts.
show, or is Mando still number one?
Well, there's only 2 episodes, so I still like Mando better. But I think I'm gonna end up liking Ahsoka better when all the episodes are out.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe I think it's pretty good. Do you have any predictions for the show? What do you think is going to happen at the end of episode 8? Where are we at?
I think they won't rescue Ezra until like the 7th episode.
Okay.
And if he is that Inquisitor, then they won't turn him back to the very end of the last one.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. When do you think Thrawn's going to show up?
I'm gonna like episode 5.
Episode 5. Yeah, there's supposed to be
Around
something,
there.
some Disney Plus special coming out the same week they release episode 5 called Master and Apprentice. What do you think that's going to be about? Have you heard about that yet?
No.
No. So there's going to be some special from Disney about Star Wars. It's going to release the same week that one was released. So do you think that that's the one that Anakin comes back in, or do you think we're going to see Anakin?
Maybe, yeah.
Do you want to see Anakin?
Yeah, I do.
We all
Do
want
you
to
think it'll be
see
a
Anakin.
flashback, or do you think he's going to be a Force ghost?
Maybe probably a flashback, I think.
Flashback, okay. That'd be pretty cool. All right. Was there anything else you can think of for Ahsoka?
I think Zeb will show up sometime in the later episodes.
Oh, that'd be
Him
cool.
and Callus.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
And Callus.
Have the whole crew back together.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch that when we were talking.
See Jason Syndulla?
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay. When do we get to see the ghost?
I'm gonna guess episode 3.
Oh, I like where your head's at, kid. I like where your head's at. All right. You got any questions for me or anything? You usually always have 100.
No, I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was.
Well, what was it? Come on.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I think Kanan's he turned into a Force Wolf when he died.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna show up for Sabine sometime because she's a Jedi now.
You think so? You think that Doom, right? Wasn't that the wolf's name, Doom?
Yeah.
You think he's going to show up during her training or something?
Mhm.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be all right. I didn't even think about that, buddy. Dang.
Wow.
Maybe you should have your own podcast. All right.
Who do you think the Inquisitor is?
Honestly, man, I don't know. I'm sitting there looking at it. For some reason, I've met Sam Witwer a couple times now, right? I got to meet him, and it's kind of like his frame, his structure. But I kind of agree with you, though. If Starkiller is super powerful, and they'd kind of have to nerf him a little bit if that was going to be him, right?
Yeah, but I still think he'd be able to beat Ahsoka. I mean, Ahsoka's a powerful character, but he should be like right under Vader.
Yeah, you would think so, right? Especially with the video games, the way he's like pulling starships out of the sky and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I kind of hope it's Barriss Offee, to be honest. This way we can find out. We find out what happened to her, and then if she gets killed or whatever, they can end that storyline. So everyone kind of end that. So I guess that's there, or maybe I can't think of anyone. But Dave Filoni is full of tricks, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure.
This isn't about Ahsoka, but do you think the Armorer was the person that brought Gideon back?
Ooh.
Do you think she betrayed them in season 3?
Yeah, just wait for this.
I think she did.
You think she's the bad guy?
Yeah.
You think
she's probably gonna? I think she's gonna be one of the villains in the Dave Filoni movie.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You've heard it here first. The Armorer is going to be the villain in the Mandoverse movie.
Not the villain, but a villain. I think Thrawn's going to be the main villain.
See, I don't think Thrawn's the main villain. I think he's a distraction. I think he's going to help the heroes defeat whatever's coming from the unknown regions. That's my prediction I made before the show started last week. I think that he's a bad guy, but I think he's going to end up having to help defeat some kind of greater threat coming out of that unknown area. But that's just... What's that?
Then betray them in the end.
Then betray them at the end? You're all about the betrayal, aren't you? All right, man. Well, can I message you again next week after the episode and we can chat a little bit more about it?
Yeah.
All right. And then, very cool, buddy. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hang on one second. And then you can ask me questions too if you want. So there was Hank the Tank, all the way from Pennsylvania. You can see I always go home. And we've talked about him before. And the kid has, I don't know, at 10 years old, I would have known any of that stuff. I know it's a different world, but I mean, he's like, well, yeah, he died because, the actor's dead. And I mean, he's just dropping these bombs on me the whole time. So we're going to hope I hope to be able to every, Sunday when our episodes come out the next week to have a little clip from him.
Yeah.
Just kind of recap and stuff. So yeah, he's, like, what does Yoda say? The minds of a child is truly special or whatever.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah. So man, the kid gets it. He's at another
he
level.
Completely debunked the Starkiller theory.
Yeah, he did. I didn't even think about the way he 100%. Said. He's like, he's like, nah, that's dumb because he's not strong enough. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably true.
He
so
walked the floor with Ahsoka.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's pretty cool because I mean, and the thing about this too is like this is a 10-year-old kid, and he's like, well, he'd beat Ahsoka, and he's like, well, Ahsoka's a great Jedi, but he's not just being a bedhead about it like some people on social media.
I like his theory with brainwashed Ezra as well.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I was like, whoa,
brilliant.
Where'd that come from? So,
what if it's not a brainwashed Ezra? What if it's a brainwashed other child from a general in the New Republic, as the bad guys tend to steal children from war criminals from the good side, and I'm thinking it's Jason. What if it's Jason?
I'm thinking with this brainwashed Ezra thing, because remember we keep on about Hattie's eyes, Shin Hattie's eyes. She could be under a spell as well, because it mentions about how she's got the hallmarks of a Jedi, some of the clothes that she's wearing as a Jedi. So maybe these two people have been brainwashed to some extent.
A witch spell.
Makes you think.
Who knows?
You think.
Wait for Hank the Tank.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for him to drop more knowledge on us. So, but he'll be back next week, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Do you have any questions for Hank too? I did tell him afterwards that if anyone has any questions for Hank about his theories or anything, to let me know. Remember, he is 10 years old, so take it easy on him. But we'll ask him. We'll ask him on there because you'll have a grumpy uncle if you come after my nephew. So that's all I'm saying.
First question for Hank the Tank: does your uncle look like Balon?
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. So, but so good stuff. I think we're about ready to head into our next topic here.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 13, The Jedi. First off, I just wanted to say Diana Lee is amazing at playing Morgan Elsbeth. She's also a little bit more into martial arts outside of acting as well. What is she? The granddaughter of... What were you saying, Jimmy?
She's the granddaughter of Bruce Lee. Her
Yeah.
father is the one who taught Bruce Lee some different kinds of martial arts. The guy is, I mean, as famous as Bruce Lee is in like the movie world and stuff like that. Her father, I think it's Danny, is in the martial arts world. He is, I mean, I don't think there's anyone who's more well respected than that man.
Yeah, he does all the training for the Hollywood actors. He's trained Chuck Norris as well.
Yep.
Amazing. Which is why she's so cool.
She comes from some serious pedigree, so she's not to be trifled with.
Now she's got some magic. Yeah, now she's got magic. So I guess she kind of always had it. So after I watched the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka, I went back to Mandalorian Chapter 13 and I watched where we see Ahsoka for the first time. And I had no idea that I was going to completely feel differently about this episode. But
folks, listen, when she says this, she went like bonkers on our Facebook. She's like, "Oh my God, you guys are gonna..." Like, I didn't feel like I had a choice. So I was like, "All right, I'll watch it tomorrow, Taylor. Please don't hurt me." So yeah, she wasn't wrong. So listen closely. This is a really good catch by you, Taylor. So
seriously, I was feeling like I just wanted to watch the next episode of Ahsoka. So I'm like, let's go back and watch the Ahsoka episode in The Mandalorian. And turning it on, I am looking at this episode like I have never watched it before. I'm watching it from Ahsoka's storyline. I'm not watching it from Mando and Grogu, which, by the way, this is the episode where we find out his name, Grogu. And I feel like we're all kind of okay with the name now. But I remember when it first came out, everyone was like, ugh. But Ahsoka is the one who is able to get that name from Grogu so casually, by the way. And it kind of reminded me of when Ahsoka's listening to Sabine's thoughts when she's in the hospital. Like, she's listening to her dreams a little bit. So she wakes her up because she's like, oh God, you're having some pretty terrible dreams right now. But right away into this episode, you see this dead forest, dead trees, and this forest has a green hue to it, like the green fire from the Witches of Dathomir. And what's happened here is that this Morgan Elsbeth has come to this little village or this little town, and she has taken over it. So she is this evil, warlord, is she? Working for Thrawn. I don't really know what her vantage point is from being here, other than it has some pretty big walls, but Ahsoka still gets in, no problem. But all the cues are there that we never saw before. Morgan Elsbeth is literally wearing the dark red. Like, she's wearing the dark red color, like she still is now that it's so obvious now that she's a Witch of Dathomir, as the same as Merrin. Merrin wears the dark red as well with the lighter hair. Also, Chapter 13 comes out as a completely different, like it's not that old Western style that Mando is really recorded in, really. Like, you're watching this gunslinger, kind of a little bit of humor in it, Mando episode, but I'm watching it from Ahsoka, and Mando's kind of joking around, like, with Grogu in his little side bag, like, oh, I like to keep it around for luck, and we're just like, stop joking around, Ahsoka's got a lot to do right now. And thinking of it from the timeline that we now know, Ahsoka has been hearing whispers of Thrawn's return. She knows that Morgan Elsbeth has worked with Thrawn before. So she finds her on, which planet
Corvus.
is it now? Corvus. Bo-Katan sends her to the planet of Corvus to find Ahsoka Tano. So Ahsoka has just found Morgan Elsbeth. She's probably just left Sabine. So she's feeling like she can't, she's feeling a little bit of grief and stuff. Like, she's not even calling Hera for help now that she's found Morgan Elsbeth. You know what I mean? Like, she's off on her own, doing her own thing. And here's this Mandalorian walking up to her like, hey, take my baby. Like, like, no. We've got a lot. We've got a lot more on the go. Ahsoka's in the middle of finding this star map. She's like, there's these two dark side users that are out there working with Morgan. Morgan is escaping, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then there's just, can you take my foundling? Like, no, get out of here. What are you, get out of here. So I thought that was kind of funny looking at it from a different point of view. Like, I wasn't following Mando and Grogu's story up to seeing Ahsoka. I was following Ahsoka's story up to this Mandalorian kind of just coming out of nowhere when she's in the middle of dealing with other stuff. So I don't know. I thought that it was just completely different. The whole episode is filmed differently. It's more of like a
more of a samurai film.
Yeah, samurai story. Like, the views are different. It's more visually pleasing. There's this green hue kind of everywhere. It's more dark. It's not old Western like Mando is. So it's very cool to watch it now. There was a lot of other things that were so in front of our faces as well with this episode. But Jimmy, you watched it again after watching the Ahsoka episodes. What did you spot right away?
Yeah. I was never like super pumped about this episode. I remember being pretty disappointed about it. I don't know why I wasn't vibing with it.
It didn't make sense back then.
Well, and I think that might have been part of it. I tried to keep my expectations, I don't want to, be one of those people who's like, well, it didn't happen my way, so I'm going to pout about it. But there's something off about it. Now, I will say that after I was forced to watch it by Taylor, after I rewatched Ahsoka's episode 1 and 2 on Saturday, and then I threw this in. And Taylor, you were spot on. It is a completely different episode. I loved it. You sit there and you thought about like why she wouldn't train Grogu, and everyone thought, oh, is this connection because Anakin was too attached? But was it because of Sabine now? I think that Ahsoka tells Mando that her people died in the Clone Wars, and we took that as just Elsbeth's peoples died in the Clone Wars, so that could easily be tied into obviously we know it was the Witches of Dathomir. But yeah, Taylor, I think it was completely different. I don't know if I'm just still pumped from all the Ahsoka stuff, but I really did feel like I really enjoyed the episode probably more than the first time I watched it. I've watched it a couple times. And I mean, I'm obviously a big Ahsoka fan, and I was really excited to see this. But I was kind of surprised by how much I thought it helped that episode. And if you haven't watched it or you have watched it, you should take Taylor's advice and check it out. So.
You'll enjoy it if you're enjoying Ahsoka.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, like,
what about you,
right
Jack?
away... Oh, no. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, there's some little golden nuggets in it, especially from the start once you start watching it again. A lot of the people, her army, they have the symbol of the Charmera on there. Obviously, that Charmera is a symbol of Thrawn as well. So from the off. Something else about her as well. She isn't from Dathomir. She's a human member of the Coven, so she's not actually from Dathomir, which would explain how she sort of got round that massacre, if you like, when that kicked off during the Clone Wars. And like I heard you mention earlier, she's on there to gain resources and recruit people for an army. So she's definitely got some hidden agenda or a second agenda from Thrawn in regards to a bigger picture, I think. The episode itself, it just makes you think what other episodes are right in front of us with answers.
Mm.
Dave will only loves to play these sort of games.
Well, because I mean, I thought maybe this was like this is more like to me like a George Lucas deciding that Luke and Leia were sisters in Return of the Jedi after he has them smooch in Empire. But when you go back and you watch that episode, man, there are some things right there in front of us and some stuff that, I mean, maybe we're manipulating it to be what we want it to be, but it doesn't seem that way to me. Just some of the comments and some of the visuals and things like that. Yeah. So, I mean,
sorry, Jimmy, go on.
I'm just curious. I really hope that they do a big roundtable discussion with this one, and they kind of dive into some of that stuff and be like, "Hey, we had this plan. We knew she was what she is," and or kind of tell us the truth about.
Again, I'm just still going through what Hank the Tank was saying, and how did she
a
get
night sister
a spear
from that
Mando
episode? Yeah, so.
And that would lead me to think Hank the Tank, again, with his wisdom beyond his years, she's been given that Beskar spear by the armourer.
Oh.
So, again, I'm just trying to think with stuff what he was saying and stuff. It's just all making sense for a 10-year-old. It's unbelievable. But I know that Dave Filoni sort of thinks like that. And it's like, could you imagine an Avengers sort of team, but the dark side? So you've got like Thrawn as like the Captain America, if you like, and you've got Morgan as the like, I don't know, the Doctor Strange, and then you've got Iron Man, which is like the armourer sort of thing.
I mean, it could be, a crew of them. So
yeah. Well, yeah, it is interesting to watch that episode again after the first two ones.
Yeah, you just see stuff that you didn't see before. Like in this Mando episode, Morgan is like flanked by these HK-87 assassin droids that we now know are being built on Corellia under New Republic authority. Not that they really know it. Right when Mando takes the job, or not really takes the job, but kind of takes the job from Morgan, and he leaves their big gates, you can see the owl, Ahsoka's like owl up in the right hand or the left hand side of the screen. He's watching. It's known as the Watcher, right? So it's watching Mando go to find Ahsoka now. There's like a scene where there's Lothcats getting scared everywhere, and there's like at least 3 of them in this episode, or I guess they're Tuca cats, which are a Lothcat is a subspecies of a Tuca cat. So, and we know there's a lot of those Lothcats in Ahsoka, so I noticed those right away.
Oh yeah.
But there is one thing that people have been kind of freaking out about is that Ahsoka has not been fighting with her blades backwards. And that is a big thing with Ahsoka. Ahsoka always has her lightsabers backwards. And people are wondering, why isn't she can't fight like she does. She's supposed to. Her lightsabers are forward. But in this episode of Mando, she fights Din with her lightsabers backwards. And she does fight Morgan a little bit with her lightsabers backwards as well. So,
yep.
And this is supposed to be right before the Ahsoka series episode 1. So she still can use her lightsabers backwards. I don't know. Maybe she's got some bad wrists after 30 years of fighting with them backwards.
Well, she may have trained with Luke Skywalker. Yeah, because Jack, you noticed something about how high up on the hilt she was holding. But,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
we don't know. Maybe she was training with Luke, and they worked something out. I don't know. Like, it could be anything. So,
I think Ahsoka is a way better lightsaber, like way better in combat than Luke is. Like, Luke may be stronger in the Force, but I think Ahsoka is way better in lightsaber combat than Luke.
Ahsoka grew up in the Clone Wars, though. I mean, she's fighting since she became a Padawan, so I would hope 14. That she was better. Yeah, so no,
that's so true.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, there's so much goes into it. I wish people would not be negative and try to come out, creative. And I had to say though, like before I got back into the Star Wars universe and listening to podcasts, sometimes I'd be like real negative about the prequels and stuff. But I think it's more fun to try to do like what we're doing and be like, all right, like she's not fighting backwards. What is she doing? Like, why? Well, she trained with Luke Skywalker for a little bit. Now she's trying out something new, and she knows that these people, they ain't. If she needs a switch, she's like the guy from The Princess Bride, who's actually right-handed. So he's just kind of toying with them just to get a little practice, and you're like, So right. Just have some fun with it. create a story in your mind until they tell us otherwise. Be positive about
Just
it. Have
go
some
with
fun
it.
with it. Yeah, just
Yeah.
enjoy it. So, but
I don't
yeah, I
know.
think that
I was just
if you guys haven't done it, go ahead, Taylor. Sorry.
I was just saying, like, Ahsoka's like leaving the village, and she's walking right out to see Hiang in the ship, right? It's parked somewhere out there. Like, I
It
don't
makes
know.
you wonder, doesn't it, if he's out there in that ship waiting for her or something, or
I
where that
think
T-68
so.
isn't it T-68? So, but yeah, if you
Yeah.
guys haven't done it, listen to Taylor. Go watch it. I think it's a whole new episode. You can see, just again, it's just I don't know. I was really surprised, so pleasantly surprised by how much I
Yeah.
enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, what
So-
little nuggets have you guys seen in there now that we know what Ahsoka has on her agenda?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, and that about wraps it up then for this week's show. So, as always then, make sure you hit us up on the socials, on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Explore the Force. Feel free to leave any comments, any opinions, anything you want us to discuss. Again, we'll get through it. And as always, from Taylor,
For light and life.
Baylan, you are true to your word.
Old Balin, man. And for all of us, we have spoken.
See you next week.
Awesome. See you guys.